Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Co. Productions.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Apologies if there's any weird audio things going on. Our neighbor has a handyman who doesn't start working until 4 p.m. and he goes well after dark.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you hear someone cutting the yard in the background and it's not you, it's probably the guy next door to me. So yeah, so this is a show where we typically talk about, whatever show we're watching at the time. And in this case, we're talking about Shogun.
No.
Oh my god. I watched the first episode last night, Sam.
Yeah?
So damn good. So damn good. As of recording, there's only 2 episodes premiered so far. So tonight I'm watching episode 2.
Nice.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. They pumped a buttload of money into it. How do you say his name? Our boy Hiroyuki Sanada?
Yeah.
Finally giving him like a role to sink his teeth into. You can tell it's like an ensemble show, but he's kind of like one of the main guys. He's the Shogun essentially. But yeah, man, it's cool. And I really don't know anything about this story. I've just always kind of heard of it. I know that there's like the main guy's like a white guy, a foreigner who shows up and gets thrown into the mix. But from everything I'm hearing, it's not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, like the white savior kind of thing. But everyone just really likes this, and I know I've heard a lot of Japanese people talking about it and how they love the book. So I'm like, all right, that's really cool.
Okay.
So I'm just excited to go on this journey. It's 10 episodes, and I'm ready. I'm ready. Physically, spiritually, mentally. And one of our favorite actors from Lost shows up out of nowhere. I won't say who because it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when they just pop up and we're like, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, now you got to watch the first episode.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been seeing people talk about it and I'm like, I guess I have to watch it. So
yeah, and I know people,
I really do have to watch it.
Were pretty pumped for this. The trailers looked amazing. I was nervous because the main guy, the white guy, he was barely in the trailers. So I'm thinking like, oh no, is he not a good actor or what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
No, he's phenomenal. And like he in a show of so much talent, like he's carrying his own, and like, oh God, I love his accent. I'm enraptured by this guy. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I haven't looked him up. I don't even know his name. But I'm like, I don't know like what else he has done. I've never seen him before, but I'm into the story. And from the get-go, his character is extremely complex. I'm like, okay, there's layers to this already. I love it.
Nice.
So, everyone, go check out Shogun on FX. It's streaming on Hulu. Go check it out. In other news, we've got a lot of dark to talk about, so I just want to fly through it. In other news, music news. Since the last episode and this one, Olivia Rodrigo's Guts World Tour has begun.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm seeing tons of footage. It looks great, spectacular. It looks like a show. It's an extravaganza, which good for her. That's awesome. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I don't think I would ever go to one of her concerts unless we were like in a group. And like, I kind of think like I missed my opportunity because I would have loved to see her in a smaller venue. I don't even know if she like really did small venues because like when she came out with Driver's License, like
she was pretty big.
She already exploded. Like instantly. So like I don't want to pay those kind of concert fees for tickets. I don't want to deal with those crowds and the lines and all that stuff. And also just like her specific genre of music tends to be much younger than myself. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with that. That being said, I would camp out overnight if I found out she was performing at like the Paper Tiger. you know, just somewhere super small. It's gonna be intimate. It's gonna have to be. It's not gonna be the spectacle. It's gonna be more about the music. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would- I would do that. I would deal with those crowds for that show.
yeah,
But I've been watching all these clips of her songs and stuff. I had heard about this, but I didn't really know too much about it. When the Guts album released, they released it on vinyl as well. However, there was 4 special editions that they released. Each special edition you had to get from somewhere particular, like Walmart or Target or something like that.
yeah.
Each one had a different bonus song track. So I'm like, okay, so there's 4 bonus tracks out there. Eventually, they released it all 4 on like an EP vinyl, but that's even I think rarer because it was like a
Hmm.
one day. It was like a special thing or whatever. So I'm seeing footage of her playing these songs. I'm like, what the hell song is this? Is this a cover? And everyone's like, no, she's playing like the hidden tracks as well live. I'm like, oh my god! And I heard one that like kicked ass. I'm like, why isn't this on like the album? So that's when I found out about all these hidden tracks and stuff. And it's
Hmm.
like, damn, they're not available anywhere. They're on vinyl, which, as far as I know, that's kind of hard to copy and post on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
So yeah, I found one called I think it's called Obsessed, which is really cool. I found another one which was super low quality, but I liked it. And the other two like I can't find.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what what gives?
Hey, man, that's just how it is.
It's kind of
One day she'll
cool.
probably, release them as like a collection or something, the hidden track or something.
Yeah, yeah, not just on vinyl. But
Yeah.
this is kind of cool. It's kind of the opposite of what we had been talking about. How everyone only does singles.
Hmm.
This is like the opposite because she'll do singles just to promote her album, but then she has these hidden tracks and you can't find it anywhere. I'm like, oh god,
Hmm.
they're like Pokemon cards. You have all these young preteen girls fighting each other in Target for them. I thought it was funny when the album came out because all these kids they don't know what vinyl is. Most kids these days have never owned a CD. So
Hmm.
there's all these TikToks and kids or TikToks and stuff of these kids opening CDs for the first time, and they can't get it out because it's like stuck in the hard plastic. And I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Wow.
And they also released Guts on a cassette as well.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So if you're still driving around your 30, 40-year-old truck, you can listen to Guts.
Mhm. And it'd be pretty wild because I mean most cars now don't have CD players in them either.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So if the hidden tracks are on the CDs, you can't find like you won't be able to listen to them. And they took out the disc drive on like laptops.
Yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Everything is going digital. And I'm like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
this is I
I don't
and
like it.
I've been an advocate of this for a long time. Physical media all the way.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like this. I'm so grateful that my PS5 will play Blu-rays.
Hmm.
Like awesome. And it'll even play international because it's not like the DVDs anymore where you have to get or like the region locked. For the most part now, it's universal.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
So I hope I don't know because I couldn't find this out. I hope the PS5 Blu-ray is like that
Mm.
because I have the French Batman Mask of the Phantasm 4K. It's not in French, but I had to get it from France because it was the steel case, steel cover.
Ah, I see.
Not available in America.
Mm.
Yeah. So, oh, speaking of Mask Phantasm, B. Dave Walters posted a tweet. He was just passing the tweet along. What's your favorite animated film that's not a Disney? And
Mm.
I just put the GIF, and you have to use GIFs. And I put Mask of the Phantasm, and he
Yeah.
responded, "This is the only right answer." I was like, "B Dave, thanks." And then Erika Ishii, the day before, I commented because she did a photo shoot with her partner completely based off of Starless Sea. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, and dude, you're the one who sent it to me. The
Yeah.
portraits, it's so beautiful. I've been following that photographer for a while. Like that's what they specialize in. These weird kind of like fantasy esque. Oh, it almost looks like a painting, but they're photos. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. Yeah. Tried that AI, but yeah, it's just gorgeous. And then I put and she had mentioned
They.
uh oh yeah, that's right. They mentioned um that I don't remember if it was their favorite story in Starless Sea, but what's it called? The last in at the end of the world, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Something really long and crazy, but beautiful. And like again, that was my favorite part of the book. And I even tweeted that is probably like my favorite chapter of any book.
Mm.
And they replied back.
Nice.
Yeah, something to the fact like hell yeah or whatever. It was like yeah. So man, I would love to shoot with that photographer. Man,
Yeah.
and it was cool too because Erica posted like a behind the scenes of it
Hmm.
and how much was actually like the photographer's special like digital effects and how much was practical. So like they actually made the boat. It's like a little wooden model boat, and then they took the picture as if they're standing on it. I'm like, this is brilliant. I love it.
That's really cool.
So two of my favorite D&D luminaries. I don't know if that's the right word, but two of my
Sure.
favorite D&D people responded to me 2 days back to back, and like I don't know, just feeling special.
It's
So,
because you are special, Matt.
yeah, yeah, and it's been a really good, light, uplifting week, and it all started Monday, Monday morning because I watched Dark on Sunday night.
Oh.
So everything from then on out was just like it's all downhill in a good way, uphill. I don't know. The hill
I get,
analogy never made sense to me.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
it is one of the weirder analogies.
if you're on a skateboard, sure, downhill's the way to go. If you're climbing the corporate ladder, you want to go up.
Yeah.
So I
Who
don't
wants
know.
who wants to do that though?
I know. Okay, but enough stalling, Sam.
Thank you.
Let's get into this. We're talking about Dark, Season 2, Episode 8, Endings and Beginnings. It's finally come to this, Sam. The day of the apocalypse. The inspector screws everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel is had.
Mm-hmm.
Murder is done.
Mm-hmm.
Tears are shed.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we thought we knew about time travel just got tossed out the freaking window.
Yep.
All right, there's a big twist at the end of this episode, and I want to save it for the end because I feel like we're really going to get into that.
Alrighty.
So let's talk about everything that came before that. First off, I guess what was y'all's reactions?
I honestly, this felt like such a short episode.
It went by so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, everything was happening. People, it was like people were finally doing things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I don't know if that's just the difference between, like American writers and German writers or something. But like, I feel like we really took our time getting to a lot of things. Where I feel like in America, like we would have been picking up. Like we would have gotten some of this like within 3 episodes of the season.
In all fairness, this is a thriller. You know,
Sure,
I feel
sure,
like America would have tried to throw in some action scenes at some point. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
A giant one shot sequence. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about the pacing and stuff. It almost feels like this season, even more than the last. We always keep using the puzzle analogy, right?
Hmm.
The first season felt very loose because it was so much about uh laying down the foundation. You remember we said the first season is like building the border of a puzzle.
Hmm.
We really don't know what the picture is yet, so we're just focusing on the border. I feel like season 2 is kind of like, we can't use that analogy anymore because we always talk about a plain black puzzle. It feels like it's a story that had to be told slowly, and I don't know how they would have sped it up, because that means whatever happens next would have had to have also happened during the season. You know, like
Yeah.
I felt like, especially the way this season ends, it felt like a lot of things were kind of wrapping up but not ending. It's like we need to do all of this stuff before we leave this next chapter. And we
Yeah.
need to set this stuff up for the third and final season. When it's going to be the last season, you can't just go in blindly hoping for the best. It's like, okay, we got to start laying the foundation for the next season as well, something like that. So I don't know how they would have sped it up.
Well, neither do I. I was just
Oh.
saying that that's just that's just kind of how I felt. Like, oh, finally things are happening, and just yeah. Um, but yeah, I, you know, blown away by it. I really liked how all of these all of these characters from all across time are finally like converging together and all coming together. And
Yeah.
I was like that when we have you know characters who, oh, we didn't think we'd get an interaction between them, no matter how small it is.
Hmm.
They get like a moment or a scene together. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The first season, like this whole series, has always been kind of based around, how Lost, each episode is based on one character.
Mhm.
And then you can still tell Sun and Jin's like story. They can still have their little plot while it's still being a Jack episode.
Mhm.
Jackson most of it, and he gets the flashbacks, but Sun and Jin are still doing their own little thing that has a story going on as well. That's how I kind of feel with Dark, but like the main ones are really, season 1 is really Jonah and Ulrich. Season 2 is really Jonah and Claudia.
Jonas.
Jonas, yeah. I don't know German, Sam. Season 2 is really Jonas and Claudia,
Mhm.
but everyone else's story is still happening, and like the friends, they're going through their story and it's happening. And I do know what you mean by slow, because like as an actor I'm thinking like, damn, all right, Matt, we're gonna need you for the first 2 weeks, and then we'll call you in 3 months when we bring you back. Like, oh geez.
Yeah.
you know or we need to fly you into on set, for this one scene that'll take a day to film, and then we'll see you for another 3 months. It's like, oh, okay. It's a lot of stuff like that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of side characters, and they feel like side characters.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it took us this long to finally get everyone together, you know like
Mhm.
finally meeting, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I love, it went from how many days to the apocalypse to hours of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. The actual apocalypse, what causes it? How do you think that played out? Turning out that it was the inspector accidentally setting things off.
Yeah, that was unexpected, but once he like finally got the warrant to go search the power plant, it's like, yep, that
Mm-hmm.
like this dude is so single-minded in his goal
Mm-hmm.
to just like pin Alexander for something.
Mm-hmm.
that he inadvertently killed everybody.
Yeah, and like, why the hell? Like, I understand why he would want to unearth the buried chemicals. They told him what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it up, you know? I'm like, why? I mean, I guess you think that maybe something else was buried down there.
Yeah.
You would this is a nuclear power plant. You think he would have taken some kind of safety protocols,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Also, they weren't buried that deep at all.
No, they weren't.
So I'm assuming that that whole pool, because we've seen the pool empty before. I'm assuming it's just filled with those barrels
Yeah.
because they were only under a couple inches of cement. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, geez.
It's like I feel like they need to be buried under a lot more, but
Yeah, yeah, I know.
whatever.
Uh yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that was really cool about this episode was just how um intense it was. In a way, it reminds me of a Lost season finale because you're like, every character gets to do something,
Mhm.
but you don't know where they're going to end up. You know, so last week we were talking about like, hey guys, let us know who's going to survive. Well, slowly as the episode goes, more people start making their way to the bunker. I'm like, okay, all
Mhm.
right, are you out of the woods? Martha was in the bunker and she left. You're like, no, what are you doing?
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. So we don't know the supposed survivors, the ones who were in the bunker. It's Peter, Elizabeth, um, Regina, and 80s Claudia. And Peter's
Mhm.
like freaking out when he sees her. He's like, oh, wow. And 50s Noah.
Yep.
That's an interesting combo right there
Yeah.
to have them all intersect at the end like that. And then they all realize that they all have the same song in there. Nope, nope, nope. I was about to spoil something else in Battlestar. Never mind. We did get a comment from Dan. He's like, "Thank you for not spoiling Battlestar."
Yep.
I was just about to say something else. Damn it! Uh,
uh, Dan, please tell us how far you are in Battlestar. Please keep us updated on your
Dan,
Battlestar
start
watch.
your own podcast where you talk about Battlestar, and we'll
Yeah.
join we'll join in. You know, we'll tweet you our thoughts
There you
as we
go.
go. Oh man. Okay. All right. All right. No spoilers.
No spoilers for Battlestar.
For Battlestar or anything unless it's the show we're talking about.
Yeah. You know, I kind of just have to I got a bone. I got a bone to pick.
Okay.
I got a bone to pick with older Jonas.
Okay. Yeah, we saw a different side to him this episode.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, like that's on top of the bone, you know, like you
Uh,
just pulling your gun on your the the girl that you love who's still technically a teen, but
and your aunt,
and your aunt, you know,
your
it's
teenage
so
aunt.
I mean, look, I think we've already established the fact that like they don't care about that. So, you know.
Oh
Uh
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, all right, sure. Hey, different strokes for different folks.
Oh
But
god,
uh
don't say strokes.
oh, whoop. Phrasing. Um but really my whole beef with older Jonas is what exactly was your plan? Like
Yeah,
like he came back to the present with the idea that like okay cool I'm gonna close off the time loop, I'm gonna close it off for good,
hmm,
realizes that that didn't work,
yeah.
and is then just kind of puttering around for like 6 months like well I don't know what I'm
I
doing.
have to stop Adam, but how?
Yeah, it's like but how, like, and he just waits until freaking 4 hours before the apocalypse happens to do anything about it.
Hmm.
And his whole thing is just, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go find Marta, put her in the bunker, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like he was out of options. Like he didn't know what to do.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like you like at this point, he already knows that he's Adam.
Yeah.
And my feeling is that you have to, you know, put partial spoilers for the movie Looper. You just got to take yourself out of the equation. If he just,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying that in a way that like, oh, he just needs to kill himself.
Hmm.
No, it's like if you oh, okay, maybe Looper is not the best example. Terminator then is the better example. You just take out the people that you know are like in cahoots, or you just wait for Adam to show up and then like surprise, or not Adam, sorry,
True.
Noah. And you just wait for Noah to show up and then bam, take
Hmm.
him out, find the other time machines because we now know that these things can exist within the same time as each other and that there are multiples around. So if you're smart enough, all you got to do is figure out, okay, how many time machines are there? Cool. And then you just destroy them. And then boom, mostly
You would
everything's
think
hunky dory,
so.
you know?
But on that theory, let's talk about what happens to Noah in this episode.
Oh, damn it. That's true.
Noah
Yeah, no,
tries
that's
to
right.
kill Adam, and the
Yeah,
gun does not work.
the gun doesn't work.
So he's gunned down by his sister Agnes with the
Mm-hmm.
same gun that wasn't working.
Mm-hmm. Some real Final Destination rules here. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
completely forgot. I forgot. Yeah. Okay. All right. Damn it.
yeah. Now, that's really all we got to say about that. Like, he tried to, well, there's more to talk about that, but we'll get there in a second. Um, he tried to kill Adam. It didn't work, uh, which is interesting. Middle-aged Jonas. It's kind of weird with the whole time loopness of it all. Because wouldn't he have known that he was gonna fail to collapse the tunnel? You know,
No, I don't think so.
because does does our modern Jonas, he knows it. He tells that to Claudia.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And modern Jonas is very much this mindset of very much Claudia's mindset. Like, we have to keep things the way it is so we can break it in the next loop.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I don't really, I don't know. I don't know about that part about middle-aged Jonas still attempting to close the tunnels. Did he think he actually stood a chance? Did he think that enough was changing that this was going to be the time that it would shut?
Hmm.
I wish there was a little. If that's the case, I wish there was a little something to indicate that. You know, I really thought it was going to work this time. Something.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
because that would kind of make sense. Because otherwise, if you see the loops, you would kind of know, like, oh, now the whole thing of what Martha, he middle-aged Jonas tells her he's seen her die, and we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why he takes her to the bunker and he leaves her there. But unbeknownst to him, she escapes and she makes it out. So I could understand where he was coming with that. He's like, I just need to get her out of that house and get her safe so she can survive the day. But she was too hard headed, man.
Yep.
So there would have been no, like, he honestly thought, I'm changing it this time. She's in the bunker,
Hmm.
you know. And there's no way for him to really know because Bamf, that's where his story ends this season. He bams out with Bartosz, Magnus, and Francesca.
Yeah.
Where to? Who knows?
Who knows?
So again, it goes back to the rules. Like, what exactly are the rules of time travel and like changing time? We kind of we're getting more evidence now that you can't change it.
Yeah.
Which kind of solidifies the whole time loop thing. Um, but okay, so to finish talking about Noah, his thing,
Hmm.
And going back to the whole brother sister are in a love thing. Okay, so we find out who Charlotte's mom is. It was the it was the whole opening of the episode, Sam.
Yeah, but it was just like a photo of just like a blonde woman.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Did I not pick up on something? Because later on in that scene with between Noah and Adam, Noah dropped that Charlotte is Elizabeth's mom, but also her sister? Is that right? Or did
I'm not sure he used the word sister.
I thought he did. Okay, what does he say?
I don't exactly remember the word, but I mean he's essentially referring to uh well now I feel like you should just go rewatch that. I'm like, damn it.
Dude, just tell me. This is why we're here.
I thought it was obvious, man. The way it's edited, the way he talks, he's telling Noah about the relationship. Charlotte is Elizabeth's mother and also her daughter.
That's what it was. Okay, daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so
Don't ask
so
me how that works.
so then uh,
So you want to talk about age differences between middle-aged Jonas and Martha? Now we're talking about Noah and Elizabeth.
so,
And she gives birth to her mother.
uh,
I don't know how time travel accomplishes that. You would think your daughter, your child will come out a little different, but
just a little bit, you know?
yeah,
Okay. Uh
maybe it's because Noah travels through time so much. It's like fundamentally changed his genes, his genetic code.
hmm. I think I maybe, but I don't know. I think that's too sci-fi. That's
Mhm.
too, you know, like no. Like all as sci-fi as this show is, it is
Mhm.
also super grounded.
Mhm.
You know, like people who are born of time or out of time, like they don't have superpowers. They're just pawns in a seemingly never-ending war against other people.
Mhm.
And yeah, yeah, so they don't have any superpowers, any weird things going on with them. So, you know, that's just weird. So then I guess because young Noah is in the bunker when the explosion happens, and Elizabeth is in there too. I guess it's kind of safe to posit that like they potentially make it through into the apocalypse together. I don't know. I don't like that.
I'm sure it'll all be answered in the next episode.
Ah, maybe. I don't
Mhm.
know. God, this show's weird.
Yeah, man, totally. Maybe maybe that
This,
happened too.
this goes beyond X-Men, you know, where it's like, oh, we're gonna,
yeah.
you know, like the clone of my wife and I in a desolate future time have a baby, but then we gotta leave that baby. And he comes back as an adult and he's a
Mhm.
man with a cyborg arm. It's like, yeah, this is
Mhm.
completely different. This is like if Cyclops ended up being his dad and then like somehow
Some
sprung.
writer has tried it, I'm sure.
God,
You
you
know?
know, is this a fetish thing? is this some writers just like weird
Hooking up with or not hooking up, but
like creating your parent?
oh God. I want to hear a therapist's take on that.
Yeah, I do too.
Wow.
Man, I should submit the show to the cinema therapy guys on YouTube. Be like, hey,
Yeah, yeah. Can
I
you guys
need
watch
y'all
the
to watch
show?
this.
It's only 26 episodes. Each
It's a
episode it gets deeper and deeper, and I need to know your prognosis. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's like I need everything.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, wow. Um, yeah, so the last we see Elizabeth, okay, so they open up, okay, so part of the apocalypse is not just the inspector. It's the fact that they open the barrels, but also at the same time, Magnus and Francesca in the future, I'm assuming it's the future, right? I don't remember.
no,
No, it's the
there's
past.
yeah, they're in the past still.
They start up their God particle, the one they made.
Hmm.
And then in the future, Elizabeth starts it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like at the different points in time, they're all starting at the same time. Very Star Trek, all good things.
Yeah. Yeah.
The anomalies happening all at once throughout time.
Hmm.
It's kind of like that, and that's what kind of starts the whole thing. And Charlotte, the portal opens, and Charlotte sees the woman who she eventually figures out is Elizabeth. And I think
Hmm.
she even calls her. She's like, "Mom," and
Hmm.
just like season one, where Jonas and Helgi they touch through the portal, and we know what happened. We know they
They essentially like swapped places.
kind of, but
Kind
when
of.
Jonas got thrown to the future,
Yeah.
Helgi swapped with Jonas.
Hmm.
So the last we see is Elizabeth and Charlotte touching through the portal. We'll see what happens. It would really suck ass to switch places, and you're like, "Oh crap, dead."
Hmm. Hmm.
Nuclear apocalypse.
Yep.
Time travel sucks.
It really does.
Oh, okay. So Jonas is kind of like guiding Claudia this episode,
Hmm.
and uh, he basically leaves her in modern day so she could get to the bunker. So he knows that she survives. He's like, "Get to the bunker. I'm going to go look for my mom."
And Marta.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Martha.
Hmm.
But he drops. He says that he's been with Claudia for 12 months.
Mm.
So the last time we saw him was leaving with Claudia after he says goodbye to his dad.
Yeah.
So he's been in Winden this whole time.
Yep.
I mean, unless he went on vacation somewhere, but he's been there for 12 months with Claudia. I'm like, this feels like a much different Jonas, much like middle-aged Jonas pulling a gun on Martha, forcing everyone to time travel. He's like, I'm doing it for your own good. I just feel like, man, those are just like getting another step closer to Adam, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm doing this for you.
Oy.
Oh, you freaking mans
Jerk.
mansplainer? I don't
Yeah. That too. You mansplaining jerk.
know.
You burnt up time baby.
Yeah. Um, so that's nuts that Jonas has been gone that long because we barely got to see him just a little bit here in this episode. Like, okay, that's gonna be interesting. Um, let me see what other notes. Poor Wohler, he doesn't know what's going on anymore.
Oh man. He
He's
thinks
just
he thinks he's coming clean to Charlotte, just like, hey, Alexander asked me to do these things and I did it for him. I'm really sorry.
yeah.
And Charlotte's in another show, you
Yeah,
know?
she's like, there's time travel. I found Jonas. He was in the future and blah blah blah. He's like, what?
Like, what? It's like he's more confused than ever. And he's
Yeah,
asking questions as he's driving her to the power plant. He's like, wait, no, so that was them from the future. No, the past.
yeah.
Okay. Man. Yeah. Honestly, I'd be relieved that like, well, my boss isn't gonna fire me for like taking bribes, you
Right,
know.
right.
At least not
Yeah,
right now, but man, I did not sign up for this.
yeah. So in this episode, we didn't see any Hannah.
Nope.
We didn't see any Ulrich.
Nope.
So we know where they left off then for this season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but our Jonas, modern Jonas, makes it back, and right behind him walks in Martha, and you're like, that reunion was so good.
So good.
And I think she says it this time. She says the line, "We're a perfect match."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. It's so beautiful. And at this point, it's just like, man, they're perfect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then in walks Adam.
Hey.
I am the one to pull the trigger, but not the one you thought. And he shoots her in the
Mm-hmm.
gut or like in the middle, like the lower chest. I'm like, oh
Yep.
no.
Yep.
Dude, and it wasn't quick. Like she's like drowning in her own blood. I'm like,
She suffered, and
this sucks.
he's a bastard because he's like, you'll carry this pain with you for the rest of your life, and you're like,
You,
oh my god,
you could have
you
just not shot her.
you just keep doing this to yourself, like
Yeah.
like it's just so twisted and masochistic. You're just
Would the
like,
gun have magically gone off and killed
oh
her on its own? Like, I don't know, man.
man.
That sucks. And he's like, you could try to save her or you can come after me. It's your choice. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, dude, poor Jonas, man. Poor Martha. Like, they were happy for a brief second.
You know, it's something so rad, like so. Kat and I have been rewatching Firefly,
Uh huh.
and we it's been kind of slow going right now, but we finished like a week ago or so. We finished watching the episode "The Message,"
Okay.
which is about an old war buddy of Zoe and
Mm.
Mal,
Hmm.
and during one of the flashback scenes, Mal says something. Like they're in the war. The Mal says something akin to like, uh there's a bullet waiting for you. Somebody's carrying it. And the trick to surviving it is die of old age before it gets to you.
Hmm.
And I just thought of it. It's like, how insane is it that this gun has just been in Winden for years?
Hmm.
Has been in that house for years.
Hmm.
Alexander thought it was buried in the woods. Same day, freaking little baby Hannah comes and grabs it and takes it.
Hmm.
And it's just been sitting in her house for decades.
Again, it's all Hannah's fault.
It's all Hannah's fault.
Why'd you take it?
Why'd you take it? Hannah, why are you like this? And inadvertently, it becomes the instrument of so much death and destruction. Just in this episode, it kills two people. You know,
Is this the same gun that kills Noah?
this is the same gun that kills Noah.
Well, where did he get it from?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's ugh.
So I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the first two seasons, middle-aged Jonas was always looking at the floor.
Yep.
Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. It took me a while on my first watch. I'm like, what is he looking at? Like, what's gonna happen? Oh. As soon as
Oh.
Adam walks in and I see them standing there, I'm like, oh no. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no.
I was like,
No.
oh no, come
Martha finally feels like
on.
she's like becoming one of the leads in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the last two episodes. It's like, yes, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it, sister. And she got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I have I have problems with uh you know
With what? Her getting killed or
yeah, with her getting killed.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Like it's look, it's nothing new. We're killing a female character to further the story and progression and pain of another male character,
right.
and it's like, oh yeah, heaven forbid women have like their own agency,
Hmm.
in these stories. And it's like, yeah, like in this story we kind of just have to like, we kind of have to like shrug inside, just be like, I mean, technically, this is Jonas's story. He is
Right.
on this kind of sort of hero's journey,
Hmm.
and everybody else is kind of just along for the ride, going on their own journeys, coming in, coming out, all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. It just sucks when like a character like Marta has been exactly like what you said, pretty much like a glorified side character for this whole show until these like last couple episodes.
Hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is great. And then no, we kind of just like shunt any of that growth in character,
Yeah.
And and this is just me, this is just like sort of like my initial thoughts and reactions, because I don't know what happens next,
Hmm.
but it is just a thing that like I can still be upset about it, and then maybe once the series is over kind of appreciate like
Right.
what happened, or say that like, yeah, like that's the story they were always going for,
Yeah.
but I can still be upset about it.
It's interesting because the way she's written, she was really becoming a bigger character. She's really finally taking charge, not just of like the situation or whatever, but as far as the storytelling goes, you know, she was leading the friends, the
Yeah.
friend group, and it was a really interesting uh comparison comparison to Jonas,
Hmm.
because he's the chosen one. He's the person who shouldn't exist. He's on this story through time, and this whole time he's been in love and he's been pining for this girl. And now to see her stepping up, it made them almost like equals,
Hmm.
So when they did come back together at the end of this episode, it's like, oh man, it's been a long journey, but I like, it's like they earned it. They both earned it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her death hit even harder, I think. It was uh it's like it wasn't just another oh, we shot Tara through a wall. Tara was always the side character in Buffy. It's
Yeah.
kind of like building up a second Buffy, you know
Yeah.
um honestly, you could even compare it more to Cordelia. She starts as that side character, and then through Buffy and then through Angel becomes like this angelic godlike kind of archetype. That's kind of what Marta reminded me of. She's
Hmm.
Ariadne, and she was she was being given her own place in this whole web of mythology that is this labyrinth that is dark.
Yeah.
And that's what really sucks, because like as soon as she got to that point, dead.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I instantly forgave the show. Because what happens 30 seconds later, Sam?
What happens 30 seconds later after Adam goes on his whole villain spiel and like circles a date that's like a couple, like 5 days or so, like after this apocalypse on the calendar?
No, that's the date.
No, no, it's oh, well,
Yeah,
I
because
guess
because
maybe they
remember
haven't been
remember like
marking it.
every time Jonas was in the future, it was always circled on the day of the apocalypse. I don't think he
Oh,
realized that was the day of the apocalypse.
that's right. That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, anyway, after he gives his whole Bond villain speech,
yeah.
and then takes off, and Marta dies. somebody else walks into the house and it's Marta.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? And she's all like, she's in like dark, like dark wash jeans. She's got her like dark pea coat and her little like satchel bag. She's
Shorter
rocking,
hair.
yeah, she's shorter hair. She got a cute little bob and the perfect cut bangs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait, what? Has Marta been time traveling too? But she's dead. What's happening? And she, basically pulls a freaking Kyle Reese and is like, "Come with me if you want to live."
Mm-hmm.
And Jonas is like,
And she pulls out
okay."
that badass device too.
Pulls out this badass device that I guess is is this time machine now, a new
Yeah.
time machine. I'm like, this is so freaking cool. I don't know what it is, and like, it's so cool how like Jonas has been like this very like stoic, sad boy, tragic character for like this whole season. So he's been going through it. He's been going through a lot. He just went through it. He lost the love of his life. And then instantly the love of his life is standing in front of him, like in such a cooler outfit. It's so calm and confident and assured. And he just looks like he kind of just looks like a schoolboy, just like, so what time are you from? And she's like, the question isn't what time, but what world.
Ugh,
And I was like,
damn
what?
it.
Oh, what?
We can't escape the multiverse, Sam.
We can't escape the multiverse.
It's everywhere.
Oh my god. And then yeah, they disappear away and then the house blows
Nigga
up and
Martha.
yeah, yeah. No, honestly, I was like, this is like Matrix Marta.
Matrix Martha.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, man, okay.
So
Like,
yeah, she walks in kind of, you were talking about sad boy Jonas. Now it's like sad girl Martha. But yeah, like she's the one in charge. She's the one time traveling. She looks cool in all black. I'm like, okay, interesting. Cause we just killed off the Martha who was becoming badass, right? And she's instantly replaced with a Martha who is already badass.
mm-hmm.
So far, and like, it's so weird. It was such like a rug pulled out from under you. Um, and it's so fast because like it's literally seconds before the episode ends, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, my brain can't process.
It's like I'm having too many emotions here. I'm still crying because Marge is
Yeah,
dead,
yeah.
and you used maybe the best Peter Gabriel song ever,
Oh
for your
yeah.
whole freaking climax.
Mm-hmm.
And now freaking Matrix Marta is coming in saving Jonas, within inches of his life. And you're just
Yeah,
like honestly, this is probably like one of the best season finales I've ever
dude.
experienced.
I know. Just
It
the
was
stress level was
perfect.
through the roof the whole time.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, that twist ending was just like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like eat your heart out, Lost. Man.
Lost hasn't had a season finale that's come close to this.
No, and we love their finales. Like their finales
Oh
are some of the
yeah.
best episodes of Lost. But like this was just above and beyond.
Yeah.
This is on beyond
Mm-hmm.
predictions. Like what, so much
Dude,
happened. Like do you have any kind of theory, any kind of idea of what's gonna happen?
I don't like I just keep thinking about like, okay, like who's together and like the revelations we got here, and I'm like, what, like I don't know what any of this is leading to,
Yeah.
you know. Every episode so far has just been like, I have no idea what's gonna happen next. I feel like this might play out, and then it kind of does, but then my expectations get,
Hmm.
blown up. So I'm like, okay, I honestly don't know. I just feel like we're gonna figure out like who the girl from the future is, because I feel like
Oh yeah. We
I
haven't
feel
seen
like
her in a while.
yeah, I feel like she's still important in
Hmm.
this, in some way.
They took the time to give her like really good scenes and moments, and we just haven't seen her since.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
this, like there are some characters in the show that it's like, okay, yeah, like I don't really think you have a whole lot else to offer,
yeah,
in
like Helgi. We've kind of seen Helgi at all different ages of his life, and
yeah,
it's like, okay, I think we've told his story, especially because like we haven't seen him in a while.
yeah, yeah. And
So
he's such a big part of like season one, and then
right,
yeah, like, we kind of got like a glimpse of him in the last episode, but
I
that
think
was just
so. Little Helgi.
when yeah, yeah. So it's like, I'm sure like these characters will still kind of weave in and out, but
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna see. My only prediction really is that we're gonna see like the quote unquote start point or end point for
Or it's the same thing according to
this.
Adam.
Yeah, yeah, because I feel like it's all the same thing,
You mean the thing that started everything that caused the
Yeah,
loop? Okay.
yeah, yeah. Because to me, that's sort of the only like every. It's not that everything else doesn't matter. It's just that like that's the biggest question that I have is like, what is the actual event that causes the time loop?
Right.
Because yeah, because I think like like Jonas was being very naive when he answered Adam and saying like, well, it was when my dad died. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, and I say naive just from like the viewer perspective, because
Yeah.
obviously, like being in that situation, you would think that like, well, everything went bad when the person I loved died.
Right.
You know, uh,
But that
so
had no like uh relation to what happens to Mikhail. You
yeah,
know? They're hanging
yeah,
out by the caves and then he goes missing.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think even at that point, or further on, Jonas kind of like, I guess, had to get comfortable with the fact that like if he saves his dad, then none of this happens and then he doesn't exist,
Yeah.
and so it's like, okay, like I get that. But yeah, like it's just it's so much more complicated,
Hmm.
but even within that, I feel like it's also going to be something so simple. It's going to be
Mm.
something so small that you're not necessarily like, oh, like that's insignificant or like it can be construed as insignificant. Like no, it's just going to be something that's like, oh,
Hmm.
this is the thing that causes it all. And you know what? It's probably going to be Hannah's fault.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
probably.
like, and I'm just saying that because Hannah is a hater, and she is truly potentially as bad as Adam. You know?
Yeah, man, she's just doing whatever she wants. She's just causing destruction. Like,
Yeah, for no reason.
yeah.
It's just because she doesn't because she feel it's because she feels owed a thing. She
Hmm.
feels owed something because she wants things and doesn't get
I
them.
wonder,
You
because
know?
like we never hear about her mother. So like I don't know if her mother like left the family, or if she died when Hannah was young. But it was
Yeah.
like in the past we've seen it's Hannah and her dad.
Yeah.
So I wonder, this you put on your therapy cap. I wonder if that's part of it. She
I-
feels like she lost her mom in one way or another, so she feels like she's owed something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy
it
because
could potentially,
I
yeah.
just watched. I completely forgot about this, but I was watching Kick Ass the other day, and I was
Mm.
telling you, like, man, dude, this movie's like really good. The writing, like, I
Hmm.
miss this Matthew Vaughn. In the opening, Dave's mom dies at the
Yeah.
kitchen table. And then he says, you think this would be this isn't a vengeance story or anything. Like life just goes on. And the next scene, it's just him and his dad at that table talking about cereal. I'm like, ooh, that hurts, man. But like,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that under your predictions. It's all Hannah's fault. Are we even going to attempt to give an MVP for this episode?
I don't think so.
Everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
It's probably
The
easier to find the least valuable
the
player.
S the SOB who said, "Hey, you know what song would be great during this whole end montage? Peter
Uh-huh.
Gabriel's cover or for My Body is a Cage."
Yeah.
That's who our MVP goes to. Cause like as soon as those and like here's the thing. I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but I there are certain covers of songs that I just think are so much better than the original.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me to like quantify it and think about it and determine because like it's such a weird thing. Like I listened to Arcade Fire's original version and I'm like, this is one of the best songs ever made. This is a perfect song. And then I
Hmm.
listened to Peter Gabriel's cover and I'm like, is this better than the original? I don't know. I think right now, for at this point in my life, I'm just gonna say that yeah, I think it's Peter Gabriel's is better than the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's perfect, especially for the mood. Like the entire mood of the show just feels like this. It's so like there's so much dread
Hmm.
just around everybody. It's smothering everybody. And like that song, I feel like just like perfectly encapsulates like this feeling of like still having these awe-inspiring moments, but in this dark
Hmm.
world, you know?
And to paraphrase Bono, Peter Gabriel was born to sing that song.
Did he say that?
Well, no. So a little context. When I was at SVA, there's this amazing I don't know if it was a series or what, but it's behind the scenes of like the greatest music videos of all time. And one
Mhm.
of them was Johnny Cash's Hurt. And they interview like filmmakers and musicians and stuff, and there's freaking Bono, man. And I don't remember who directed that video. Um,
Mhm.
but there's Bono. And he's like, Trent Reznor was born to write that song. Johnny Cash was born to sing that song. And whoever was born to direct a music video. And like we're in class, we're
Wow.
laughing our asses off. We're like, damn, Bono, that's deep. I like Bono, and I do really like you too, but chill out.
Yeah.
So man, this was so good. Such a wild ride, such a great end to this season. I loved it.
Yeah.
We never talked. When are we jumping in season three? For sure, we're gonna like not do next week. We'll probably just do like
Are you sure?
yeah. We'll do a breather week.
One.
That's
We
it.
get
One.
we get one. Yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
need to finish the show, Matt. I need to know what the freak Matrix Marta is talking about. It's not what time, but what world.
All right
What is
then.
she? Is she working with the freaking like Doctor Strange of the German Winden of Winden? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know words right now, Matt. I need to finish the show.
All right, listeners. Next week we will have a new episode, but we will not be watching Dark. We will jump back into Dark season 3 the following week, in which
Yes.
I'm sure everything will be answered.
Right up front, five
Right up
minutes
front.
in. They're
Yeah,
just
cold
like
open.
it yeah, it's just who would it be? It's Magnus. Magnus just sits in a chair in front of everybody and is like, okay, so here's what happened.
That's kind of what, not really, but when they brought Doctor Who back on Disney Plus,
Hmm.
there's a really cheesy opening of the Doctor, David Tennant, just standing talking to the camera with space behind him. He's like kind of doing a recap, I'm like, all right, this is cheesy. You could have just given us like a badass montage as a recap. So yeah. Oh man. Or you could do it like Peter Capaldi when he would break the fourth wall and like just give his talk, to the
Oh yeah.
audience. I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome." Where that's where he describes the bootstrap paradox, which we have talked
Mm.
about on this show before,
Oh, that's right.
and
That's right.
on Lost as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, everyone, let us know what you thought. Hit us up. Hashtag Lost Legacies. I'm really curious to see what everyone's feelings are after season 2. Did who you think survived the apocalypse survive, or did they at least make it to the bunker or not?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, let us know.
I will say, I think it's kind of cool that, you know, obviously this show is so grounded, and it's such a different beast than anything that like I feel like I'm used to when it comes to time travel.
Hmm.
But it also feels like the writers and creators are such fans of like the genre and like time travel stuff that like they put in these little, fun is the wrong word, but it's like they are kind of like little like fun nods to other stuff, like a couple episodes back where we're talking about Back to the Future, but we're not saying Back to the Future. And then the episode ends where like Jonas is there and he's like, for all intents and purposes, he's kind of like our DeLorean or like our Doc Brown in a way,
Hmm.
like he's just this yeah, I don't know, like it was just such kind of like a fun thing, it's like, where are we going? The future. It's like, hell yeah, we
Hmm.
are. It's dark as hell, but hell yeah, we are.
Where we're
You know,
going, we don't need roads.
and
I
where we're
didn't.
going,
I
we
didn't ask
don't
that.
need parents.
Oh no!
We
Oh,
don't
it's a
need
Disney movie.
alive parents.
It's a Disney show. All of a sudden. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, is this Matrix Martha? Is this Mirror Universe Martha?
Ooh,
Ooh, she's wearing all dark, all black.
she is. She
Well,
is.
I guess the Mirror
But
Universe
she,
they didn't wear black.
but she doesn't have a mustache, so
Doesn't have a mustache.
mhm.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's the quickest way to know if you're evil or not.
Yeah. If you have the evil dark mustache.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. We shall see what happens.
Mhm.
But anything else? Any other lingering questions we need to address before we shut it down?
I want to know where Katarina's going.
Oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about her. She's in the cave and she saw, was Jonas described it, time. That's
Hmm.
time. Um, so Jonas and Claudia were in the tunnel. Oh no, 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 no. I'm sorry. I was thinking of another moment. That was earlier in the episode when they're going to the modern day.
Hmm.
When he's taking Claudia through, and he's like, that's time when all the little blue stuff is coming out.
Yeah,
And Katarina sees that, and she's in the caves at the end. So, oh, and she goes through the door, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
she's got two options as far as we know.
because she has middle-aged Jonas's map that has all
Yeah.
the extra notes and it's super big, and she sees the
You
follow the
mean
signal note.
she has Mikkel's map?
Oh, well, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. She does have her son's map.
Um. So as far as we know,
Twisted.
she has two options then: 50s or 80s.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll see where she went to. God, I hope it's I hope it's the 50s.
Oh man, right?
I just want to see her punch the shit out of Hannah.
Oh, I know. All right, everyone. Again, let us know what you thought on the socials. Hashtag Lost Legacies. I'm on Twitter at _Matt Jimenez and on Instagram at Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Real, that's REEL, Texas Weirdo.
Till next time.
Going dark.